Child. Okay, let's. Are y'all ready to get into it? I'm ready to get into it. Let's get into it. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Belle and this is the Belle Perspective, and today we are going to be reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville, the reunion part 1. Ooh, it was good. I was thoroughly entertained. I think I watched the episode maybe like 2 or 3 times just to piece things together and try to make sure I didn't miss anything because there's so much going on all at once. Woo, God, it was a lot. But before we do that, I have a couple housekeeping items that I wanted to go over with you all. First things first is that welcome to my channel if you're new. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. I am someone who likes to comment with people. I like to get down in the comments and have a conversation with people. I don't make videos on this channel just so that I'm here talking to myself. I make videos, I make content so that I can start conversations. So get down in the comments. Let me know about the show. Get down in the comments and talk to me because I don't make videos to be just talking to myself. I swear to God, I don't. Okay? The other thing is subscribe if you want to be a part of a growing channel. Hit the subscribe button and hit that like button for me. And especially get down in the comments and let me know what you think about my perspective. Second thing is completely free book club. It's focused around Black literature. We may venture out and look at other authors of other genres, or I'm sorry, of other ethnicities and things like that. But our main focus is Black literature. And so we have a really great lineup happening at the beginning of this year. We're going to be doing some voting to vote on some books for the rest of the year. This first book this month, we're meeting January the 26th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, completely virtual. So anybody, anywhere in the world can actually join and be a part of the conversation. Is KINDRED by Octavia Butler. She's a trailblazer in science fiction as far as Black women. Join us, LITuations. I'll put the link down in the description. I've got about 258 members. But join the conversation. Come on. Completely free, no obligation. All you gotta do is just buy the book, read it, show up to the virtual event. That's it. All that information is gonna be in the description box. Now, let's get into the reunion, shall we? We shall. So, sorry, got a text message. Sorry, my bad. Everyone is arriving, right? It shows everybody's arriving, people coming in. It was 2 people who have a little bit of a reaction. First person is, you know, Wanda J. Blige. I was like, who is this lady with this mushroom haircut? Who is that? And then it was said Wanda. I'm like, of course it's Wanda. Of course it's Wanda. And I laughed. I had a little kiki. I ain't gonna lie to you. And then the other person who got a reaction out of me, he always get a reaction out of me. He make my ass itch. Martell. He was on the phone with Sheree apparently, and Carlos was, oh, is that Sheree? Let me talk to her. Sheree, I have no respect for you. You had about 5 years. How many years has the show been on? She had at least a good 3 or 4 years of seeing Martell and how he interacts with women to know that this man is not a good man. She on the phone. He a good man. He is a good dad. He's a good... Girl, what are we doing? How can you be a good father and disrespect your children's mother? How can you be a good father and have babies outside because that affects your children. How could you be a good father when you doing all this? Sheree, when I tell you I have no respect for Sheree, Kimmy, I hated her dress. I absolutely hated her dress. It looked like it used to be lingerie. And somebody just was like, listen, let's just repurpose this lingerie and make it a Batman sexy cape kind of thing. She looked like a Victoria's Secret vampire. That's what she looked like. She was giving, girl, it was not cute. Not cute at all. Martell finally was wearing a suit that matched his age range, that matched his face. Because Martell be trying to dress like he cute. And I don't personally think Martell is an attractive man. He actually makes my ass itch and I cannot stand him. Nor looking at his face. I can't. I just can't. Finally had on a suit that don't got his bare chest hairs hanging out and got his titties out or nothing like that. He finally wearing something that's age appropriate. Okay. Mel. Okay. all I could think of is tinfoil. Okay, the Tin Man. That's all I could think of. Tinfoil, where the barbecue at? That's really what all I could think of when I saw her dress. Literal tinfoil. But it was a look. Tisha's dress was pretty. She wore well. She looked good. Tisha is such a gorgeous girl. She's so gorgeous. It was okay. It was okay. I would pick Tisha's dress over Mel's dress, but it was okay. I think the only person who really looked amazing, and this is crazy, but Carlos, I loved his suit. It looked really, really good. Mel, Maurice, and Kimmy. So Carlos is basically saying, here's the breakdown. There's been a lot of drama on the show, but then there's a lot of business and expansion and things that are happening. And so they talked about Mel and 7th Avenue and her skincare line. And they talked about Kimmy and Maurice opening up a title closing business, the only black title closing business within their region. And it's the #1 area black, and its expansion with Marceau and Tisha, just all these businesses. Marcel creating that little wine line or whatever he got going on. All these businesses that are being launched. Not builder's license, but wine. Okay. So anyway, whatever. Kudos to Marcel. I'll give him that. So Carlos was like, listen, I know we have a lot of drama. We always throwing shade. We're doing all kinds of things, but we are able to celebrate each other's accomplishments. So let's give it all up for everybody and all their accomplishments. So the whole stage they start to clap. The only person who's not clapping is Mel. Carlos sees that, basically calls it out, and it's just like, listen, I guess you're not celebrating with everyone. And Mel says, well, you know, I celebrated last year. Y'all didn't show that. I'm not going to do that this year. And I'm just like, oh my God, Mel, please. I really feel like Mel needs to not be on the show anymore. And I'll talk a little bit more why. I feel like I say that every video, but I really truly feel like it's time for Mel to go. Like, girl, this is, how can you get over your raggedy husband and you still looking at him? Constant wounds are constantly being picked at. Like, there is no real way to actually truly heal if that is what you're constantly having to subject yourself to. But Mel took offense basically to what Maurice said in an interview somewhere. They didn't mention where it was, and I don't care enough to go back and research and find out. But Maurice was like, you know, Mel and Kimmy really not friends like that. Kimmy was like, listen, Mel, you said something to the same effect. Maurice may have used a different word, you know, he may have used different words, but it was pretty much the same thing that you've said in other interviews before. You've insulted Maurice before, saying that he's the least relevant person on the show. Just all this other foolishness. So what are you talking about? And so Carlos asked, you know, Kimmy, do you see Mel as a friend? And Kimmy was like, who, me, Kimmy? Yes, you, Kimmy. Girl, what? Okay, that was a little deflection tool, but whatever. So Kimmy comes back and basically says, yes, you know, Mel was there if I needed flowers or, you know, checking in, things like that. She was there. And I'm just like, so y'all co-workers, because that's what that means. Like, if somebody's checking in on you, sending you flowers, that don't necessarily mean y'all friends. That just mean y'all cool. Like, oh, okay, she care about your well-being enough to send you flowers. That does not mean y'all friends. Y'all are co-workers. And honestly, I don't understand what the problem was. I just feel like Mel didn't like when someone else said it about her. She's okay with saying it about other people, but it's not okay when she says it. That's what it felt like when someone else says it. That's what I got. Again, I feel like there's no gain for Mel to continue to be there. This show is essentially about Martell and Martell's friends. I don't understand why she still is on this show. I don't see a benefit in her being there. They talk about Marceau and Tisha's house, Scott Manor. And they're basically saying that Scott Manor is AKA Chateau Charest, which took almost 15 years to be built. They're basically saying, you know, it's going to be worth the wait, and, you know, it's coming, y'all don't worry. And I'm just looking like, I really don't care at this point. Girl, you need to be worried about fixing your marriage and getting your shit together, because I would hate to have to live the way that Tisha does. On the heels of the conversation about Scott Manor, Carlos brings up Scolt and how she's basically a business owner, majority owner of Scolt. Now, mind you, personally, I feel like Tisha's majority owner of Scolt because her credit score is better. But that's personally my opinion, because it doesn't make sense as to why Marceau would have an issue with this woman running a company if she is as smart as you think she is and is so smart as she says she is. And I'm not questioning Tisha's intelligence. What I am questioning is Marceau's intentions. That's what so Tisha's as smart as she is and as savvy as she is, why would it be an issue for her to actually be running the company and calling the shots? Marceau just brought her on because her credit score is much better and he can get a higher loan rate with her number, her social security number, than anybody else with his. Anyway, so Carlos King brings up the lawsuit, and what I loved about Carlos is that he actually brought up things that we all have questions about, like all of the viewers. He spoke literally on behalf of the viewers, and he did not hold back. He said the things that needed to be said, and I really liked that. I really liked it. So Carlos brings up the lawsuit. Marceau comes out and breaks out and says, now Marceau's the first person to start talking, and I'm bringing this up for a reason, because we're gonna talk about it in just a minute. So Marceau's the first one to talk. He said it was hurtful and kind of an embarrassing thing that happened. Now here he is trying to go garner sympathy from us without actually just explaining what's happening with the lawsuit, right? Okay, because we're hearing about what's going on, but we'd rather hear it from the horse's mouth as opposed to him actually telling us really what's going on, or even saying that he's only able to say a certain amount of things. He goes around and is trying to garner sympathy. Melody is already looking crazy, like, boy, okay, here we go. He go around in circles just to say nothing, right? Tisha finally breaks in and says, you know, it's really sad what's happening to Marceau, and this is one of the reasons why he went on the trip to Africa, just to kind of clear his head and go through all these different things. And Martell, here he go. He went to Africa by himself, huh? He took some time away from his family, huh? When I tell you Tisha was on one today, she was on one. She said she did not have time for the people today. She did not have time for the food. Like, well, at least he wasn't at the gym. And basically was saying, because that's what Martell used to tell Melody when he was out there running the streets, that he was in the gym. I said, oh God, why are we now? Why Marceau ain't say nothing then? Why Marceau ain't say nothing then? Right? So when he said he went to Africa, when Tisha brought up the fact that he went to Africa because of this, all these things, when Martell started being shady, why did Marceau keep quiet? He didn't say nothing. Carlos was like, so what you mean? Are you being shady, Martell? Martell was like, I ain't say nothing. I was just asking. Martell, you know, good and dick. Start bringing up the whole Marceau cheating topic, right? Because everybody knows. Like, here's the thing. We all know that Marceau done did something in the streets. Marceau know he done did something. Everybody on the stage knows that Marceau has not been faithful. Tisha knows that Marceau has not been faithful. Tisha also knows that there is no proof, which is such a hard place to be in. When you're a woman, it's like, I'm going to sit and wait till there's proof, but I feel it in my gut and I'm not going to move until I get confirmation. That is such a, I don't even know what the psychological term would be to live in that state, because not only is it a state of constant paranoia, it's a state of gaslighting, because you know in your gut something isn't right. And other people are also kind of giving you that hint that something isn't right, but you don't have concrete evidence. That is such, so you're constantly questioning yourself, literally wearing down who you are internally. You're fighting yourself, literally fighting yourself to try to gain a sense of reality, because there's that internal conflict that she's experiencing. There's no way you can't tell me that she's not experiencing an constant internal conflict that brings instability. There's no peace. Like, she really needs to think about what's going on, because that mess can become manifest into other things if it's not dealt with. And Marceau is just gonna sit there and let her, he gonna sit there and let her sit right in it for as long as she can take it. He ain't gonna say nothing. He not gonna defend. He's not gonna try to shed light on it. He's not gonna say anything. He's just gonna sit there and let her live in doubt, let her sit in that. Carlos asked her, do you believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that Marceau hasn't cheated on you? She said, yes, I believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that Marceau has not cheated on me. I believe that. Girl, like, who do you think that you fooling? Who you set up to play the fool, girl? I don't know why you gonna keep signing up to play the fool, but you signed up to play the fool. Because they're never gonna give you proof. In fact, they're betting on you not ever finding proof. They're betting on you sitting back and going crazy and trying to prove yourself wrong. Like, they are perfectly content with you sitting in this confusion as long as you're not questioning them or making any moves. That's what Marceau really trying to do in the end game. This is a part of the game, is him doing what he doing. Anyway, so I will give it to Tisha for the haters around, like the Mels and the Martells and those types of people that are saying, like, if you had proof. And she said it. She was like, if Mel and Martell had proof of Marceau cheating, they would have been sprayed that. If they had proof, like hardcore proof, they would have been sprayed it. Because that's the type of person, the personalities that they have. And I agree with Tisha on that. If they truly had proof, they would have been sprayed the information. But Tisha, you know good and damn well something isn't right when it comes to Marceau. And I think that's what gets the viewers so worked up. Like, girl, you know good and damn well something ain't right. And you gonna sit up here and play in our face? Girl, like Marceau playing in yours? Now see, you can handle that foolishness, but the rest of us, no girl, we not putting up with no mess like. So again, Tisha's basically saying, listen, if Martell and Mel had proof, they would have been showed their hand. They would have been showed they would have been said something. So Carlos basically says, Martell, is there any proof of Marceau? I can't recall. I don't know. Is there any? Has he ever been with any other woman? Do y'all have an apartment together? Not answering the questions, dodging the answers, doing all this foolishness. Now, if Marceau ain't cheated, why don't you just say, no, we've never. If Marceau ain't never cheated, why is Marceau not defending himself? Why was Tisha on the ropes, just hanging on, all the defending, doing all the talking when it came to Marceau cheating? But any other time, Marceau had plenty of other things to say. What is happening here? What is really happening here? Okay, so then Carlos goes to look at Mel and is like, Mel, were you lying about, Marceau cheating on Tisha? She was like, no. Do you have any proof? And he was like, well, there was a woman that was gonna come on the show, and this is when I side-eyed Mel. I was like, Mel, so you mean to tell me that you was gonna bring somebody on the show, pay somebody to come on the show and out Tisha? That is some next level bullshit. Here's the thing, and here's the reason why. Here's the reason why it's some next level bullshit. Because Mel, you found out about your husband cheating on your own. Okay? You found out about your man cheating on you on your own naturally. Now, you chose to stay with him. That's your business. That's your business. You ended up leaving him just because when he had a baby on you. I guess that was the final straw. Mel, you found out about having this kid, him cheating and doing all this on your own. Nobody brought it to you. Nobody set you up to try to get people to come and reveal it to you. You found that mess out all on your own. Why would you sit up here and set this girl up to have a woman, whether it was true or not, which I feel like there was rumblings about the hairdresser what was her name? Alonda, I think Martell's cousin. That, I feel like that was her. Cause Tisha also said that the girl called her and was like, this is what Mel is trying to do. Mel is my friend, and I can't believe she's trying to do this to me. She offered me $5,000, and I believe Tisha. I don't think Tisha's lying about this. Now, I think Tisha's a lot of things. I think she's a goddamn fool, and I think that she's living in cognitive dissonance. But I don't think that she's a liar. That is what I will say about Tisha. So you mean to tell me that you'll bring somebody on the show to out her, to force her to have to give up her husband and leave her family just because you left your family? And the only reason why you left your family is because we was looking like, girl, he done had a baby on you and he's still cheating on you, girl. What you gonna do, girl? That's the only reason. So again, Mel was, if my house is burning, your shit going down too. That is not a good friend. That is not a good person at all. Mel brings up some sort of conversation that Carlos had with someone else on the phone. I'm like, well, why didn't Carlos acknowledge that? Like, what was happening there? I don't know. Marceau pipes up and basically says, so Mel, how did you know what this woman was gonna say? How did you know all these different things? If she was like, well, basically, because we had conversations, duh. And he was like, well, where did you get this lady from? And she was like, that's none of your business. And I'm like, Mel, see, that's where I be looking at you sideways. If you gonna tell it all. If you're going to if you're going to set her up to reveal things to her, you might as well just say it at this point. If you're going to do all that, pay somebody to get to reveal this foolishness to her, you might as well just tell her. You might as well just tell the whole story. And that's why I was just like, Mel, you foul. No, you want her to be devastated is what you want. And that's the reason why it's not coming. This is the reason why it's actually not coming to fruition, because it's the intent. She gonna stay in there, and you pretty much keeping her from finding out what she need to know. Somebody who's supposed to appear on the show, and I think it was Alonda, who was her hairdresser back from season 2, who she introduced. And I thought when they first introduced her, I was kind of like, who is this woman, right? So anyway, I think it's Alonda. That's who I think it is, because the lady came for a couple times, and that's supposed to be Martell's cousin, and then she disappeared, and you never got to see her again. So Mel was basically saying that she planned a girls trip, and she was going to tell the girl to come on the show and confront Tisha and tell Tisha that she had been sleeping with her husband and it happened a while ago, and she didn't know he was married and all this other foolishness. And I'm like, again, you was setting up this woman to ambush her? Like, girl, you found out about your husband on your fair and square. Like, why are you trying to set her up? I'm not understanding how that is going to help. Oh, sex parties. Apparently, there were sex parties at Credit One. Kimmy says her office was above Credit One. And I'm wondering, why is it that Kimmy is speaking on the things that happened with Credit One when it was Maurice? It's Maurice's stuff. Number one. Number two, Kimmy claims that her and Marceau weren't together. Maurice weren't together at the time when they were hanging out. So not Maurice, Kimmy. There's so many damn names on this show. So Kimmy is basically telling Carlos, you know, they had basically, you know, kickbacks, constant kickbacks at 4 in the morning at Credit One, and you know, they would listen to music and they carrying on and they doing their thing. And Carlos was like, not Kimmy. I may be a gay man, but I am a man still. Ain't no man getting together at 4 o'clock in the morning and ain't no women involved. You goddamn right, Carlos. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct, okay? And so Kimmy was like, you know, just to be clear, me and Maurice was not together. So y'all were never, Kimmy, let me get this straight, Kimmy. And I love Kimmy, praying positive healing energy to Kimmy. But Kimmy, you mean to tell me you was never with Maurice when he was doing dirt? So how do you know what was happening at Credit One if y'all weren't together? You don't know what was actually happening. You only know what he told you what was going on. And that was watching TV and hanging out, drinking. Girl, again, like, Kim, huh? Now, as you was looking at Tisha like she was boo-boo the fool, I was looking at you like you boo-boo the fool. Like, girl, what? Anyway, and again, Maurice said absolutely nothing. He basically just said, listen, if this rumor keeps going, y'all gonna have a lawsuit on y'all hand. And I'm just like, okay. Again, I'm not, how are you speaking for people who you weren't there? But whatever. So Carlos brings up the pact that they had, you know, not about, you know, spraying each other's personal business, and there are things that are off limits. And Martell basically pipes up and says, yeah, oh no, it was Marceau and Tisha both were like, we kept that agreement. They are the ones that, you know, started trying to pull everything and talk about us and go through lengths to shame us and talk about us and do all this stuff. And Martell was like, well, who did that? I didn't do that.
Who had been saying that? Who said that?
Personality? Yes, both you and Mel have the exact same personality, and it's, if my house is burning, your shit coming down too. That's the mentality that both him and Martell had. Mel and Martell. They were hell on wheels. And Martell. How could you sit here and say that when you are the one to put the battery in everybody's back? Not that we didn't already suspect it, but for you to confirm that Marceau cheated on Tisha with 20 women, and you think that wasn't above and beyond, and you still haven't apologized for it, and you still haven't said it's a lie. He still has not said 20 women was a lie. To this day, he still has not said it. And we still sitting here like, well, is it a lie, Marceau? Is it a lie, Martell? Mind you, Marceau keeping quiet as a church mouse over in the corner, and Tisha fighting for her life over her relationship, defending it to the bitter end. And Marceau sitting there quiet, looking crazy. Martell, so that's when Carlos gets in and basically says, so Martell, what is it, brother? You know, is that a lie? Are you, do y'all have an apartment together? He had to rearrange the question a couple times just to make sure he could get a right answer, because you know how some niggas like to be, child. You don't ask them the right question. Well, you didn't ask me that. Bitch, oh, see that? I can't fool with no niggas like that. I can't do it. I can't. The way that Martell, again, zip lip. He ain't got nothing to say. He dodging the questions, not answering per usual. But swear up and down, he didn't cross any lines when he said that Marceau had 20 girlfriends. Sir, what? Why not just say no? Why not just say I was lying? Why not just say I apologize? Why not Marceau jump in and say, I don't know why he's lying. I don't know why he's telling this. Point it out, call it out, say something. But he's still going to be your guy. And he's still, see y'all, I don't have time. So this is the part where I really loved Carlos, because he was saying all the things that needed to be said to all of the cast. So Carlos basically talks to Tisha and says, I know you're a woman who's building your worth, right? And not to say, and I love the way he said it, right? He, you know, notices that she's had self-esteem issues in the past, and she's working on trying to build her self-esteem. And so he basically says to her, you know, I'll be honest with you, you come off as a woman who is not ready to accept the reality of her husband cheating on her. And I'm like, yes, Carlos, that is it. That is it. That is it. And so she says that, you know, he was like, because, you know, Chris Fletcher said that he was in Atlanta for just 2 hours, and, you know, that was that. And I'm like, you mean to tell me that you knew Chris Fletcher? Tisha, you're not asking questions about that? You didn't ask him where he was. You didn't ask him why did he say he was only, why did he put you through all that and he was only with Chris Fletcher for 2 hours? And so Carlos was like, so that doesn't bother you? And she was like, no, not anymore. It doesn't. And here's the thing. Here's the problem that I have with the whole situation. We all know Tisha boo-boo the fool right now. And she's boo-boo the fool because she wants to uphold this look of her marriage. She wants to uphold this ideal of her marriage because she's not ready to face reality. That's her decision. But at the same time, y'all can't just be coming up trying to break the glass for her. Like, that is not That's not how this works. You can't do that. You can't do that. And the longer you all keep trying to break the glass on her, the thicker that glass is gonna get, and she gonna be trapped in that mug. So what y'all need to do is sit back, let the shit break on its own, and when it break, oh baby, it gonna break. Just keep looking. Just okay, girl, your man ain't cheating on you, girl. Oh, you believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that your husband is faithful, girl. Okay, girl. All right, girl. You got this, girl. So again, I just loved how Carlos approached the situation. I love how he was asking all the right questions, and how he was really just asking the questions on behalf of the people. First of all, again, Tisha was not here for them at all. Tisha brought out finger puppets, boo. His blonde wig, child, that shit was funny as fuck. I was like, at first I cringed. I was like, ooh, Tisha, girl, what? But then also I was like, damn, this shit is funny as fuck to me a little bit. I can't explain it. I don't know how I really felt. I don't know how to feel. It was I was laughing, but also was like, oh God, girl, what are you doing, girl? But it was funny. Mel brought Kiki on the show to out and betray her cousin, her own cousin. Like, when I tell you that is some low down, dirty mess, and for Kiki to be a willing participant, to be involved in that kind of mess, that's a snake integration is what it looks like. And Mel actually admitted it finally. Mel hired somebody, and this is again according to Tisha. Mel hired somebody that works at the courthouse to pull their records. Now apparently Tisha said that Kiki told her this, because apparently Kiki was going back and forth, telling her what Tisha said, telling Tisha what Mel said, going back and forth. And she's doing all of this on behalf of trying to keep it transparent, because her and Mel had a friendship in the before her and Tisha. Yes, y'all may have met before you met Tisha, but that doesn't mean y'all was friends before you and Tisha became friends. See, y'all playing in our faces, and again, we not here for it. So apparently they were sitting there gossiping about Tisha and Marceau. Marceau had gotten into a car accident. He was driving the Spider, I think is what it was. And so Mel calls Kiki and was like, did Marceau get into an accident? What kind of car was he driving? How could he afford that car? Da 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 da. Now again, if Tisha brought it up, if you was really so concerned about Marceau and his accident, why the hell you ain't call a credible person, right? Why would you call Kiki when you know Kiki ain't gonna do nothing but spread other people gossip, other people business, in the name of trying to get back at her cousin? I'm just like, this is the second person and only person that I can think of that Tisha brings on to fight her battles for her is Miss Wanda. But that's in a different capacity. That's not in the same vein as I'm bringing somebody on camera to do dirt for you. Like, I think Miss Wanda sees it and intervenes, but I don't see her, I'm paying you $5,000 so you can out her and tell her that her husband is cheating on her. Miss Wanda is defending Tisha. I don't know. Anyway, so they go back and forth, and so come to find out, we talk about it. So Tisha basically at the Christmas party, and this video is getting entirely too long. I'm gonna try to chop it up as much as I can, but there was so much going on the episode that I just do not want to miss anything. So they were going back and forth. Carlos was like, so do you know of any instance where Tisha, actually let me go back. So they played a clip of a Christmas party. This is the Christmas party that Kiki was invited to, but Tisha and Destiny were not, right? And we all looking like, how you gonna invite this girl cousin to your Christmas party? That is the shadiest thing ever. This is, and you cut Destiny off, right? You cut Destiny off for being friends with Martell, but you keeping Kiki on, and that's some kin to her. Comes up and finally says, I saw a picture of a woman in Marceau's phone. And I'm just like, what? Now wait a minute. If you was looking for proof, That wasn't proof enough for you, boo? So that was where the show ended. That's where the episode ended. We will find out what actually happened. Do I think that Marceau is cheated? Absolutely. Do I think that Martell is lying about 20 girlfriends? I honestly don't think so. I think Marceau's probably had multiple girlfriends, but I also think that Marceau fools with women who have a lot to lose. I feel like he fooled with women who are probably already married or are already in relationships and already have a lot to lose anyway. I do find it funny that that Tisha and Kimmy were speaking on behalf of the men. Neither Marceau or Maurice was actually talking about any real thing or answering any of the questions. It was both their women responding for them and fighting to the death, okay, hanging on to their relationship. I also find it funny that every time Maurice being some fuck shit, Kiki, I'm getting all these names mixed up, y'all, sorry. Every time Maurice and some fuck shit, him and Kimmy was never together. Like, every time it be some fuck shit going on with Maurice. Let's just be known that we was never together. Girl, when were y'all together? Y'all was together for 7 years. But it just so happened to be that when he involved in fuck shit, y'all wasn't together. Okay, Kimmy, girl. Okay, girl, I'm gonna just let you have that there. I'm not gonna keep pushing, but it sure sound a little fishy to me, okay? What else? Mel, damn girl, you looking to hire people to bring. I never too much care for Mel. I always thought that she was messy and had a very similar personality to Martell, and Martell already made my ass itch. So Mel is on another level, not as bad as Martell, but she definitely is in that same vein. And so I just look at both of them sideways, like I can't with y'all. So anyway, I'm excited about the second part, baby. It is going to be delicious. I'm going to be eating it up with a spoon. They've had so many episodes, they better have a good ass reunion. That's all I'm gonna say, because I almost fell off. I almost didn't review these last couple episodes of the season. But anyway, I am so excited. Y'all get down in the comments and let me know what you think. Do not have me sitting up on this camera talking to my goddamn self and y'all don't say nothing to me. Get in the comments. Let me know what you think about Martell, Maurice, Marceau, Mel, Tisha, the puppets, all of the things. Get in the comments. Tell me what you think. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and be a part of this growing channel. And don't forget to get down in the description box. Check out LITuations, the new book club. I've got about 258 members already. We're reading Kindred this month on the 26th. It's virtual. It's free to join. It's free to jump in the conversation. Free. No obligation. The only thing you got to do is buy the book. And you might want to hurry up and buy the book quick. Buy the book now. I think it's like 280 pages. You should be able to read about the 26th of January, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What else do I have to say? I think that is all of my announcements. Again, my name is Belle. This is the Belle Perspective. We talk about books, TV, movies. We're going to be talking about people pretty soon. I just got to figure out the format. But it is going to be happening here on the Belle Perspective. And I really appreciate you for sticking around. Happy New Year. Take care. Child. Okay,